Hola clase. I wanted to do a screencast about your oral presentations. They're worth 10% of your grade each, so they're a big deal. This is the only time that I evaluate your speaking, so they're very important. Now, can you not say anything in the course at all up till midterm and then all of a sudden do well in it? No. You're going to need to, like I told you in your advice for the course, you need to do everything out loud. Every time you hear someone say something on VHL, repeat it. Every time you write something down, repeat it. Every time you read something, do it out loud. When you study your flashcards, do it out loud. I can tell at midterm, those of you who have been doing that and those who haven't. And if it's not comprehensible, then you're not haven't succeeded in communicating. And so I take off like half points, about 40 points, I think, if I can't understand it. If I can't understand you, and I'm good. I've been all over the world. I know languages. I can figure out what people are saying if they have strong American accent, for example. But if it's so bad that I can't get what you're saying, you haven't succeeded to communicate, and so if you haven't got any message across, then I'm not going to give you very much credit for it. Okay, so make sure you do everything out loud. Now, what I want to show you here, let's go to the midterm here. I've given you some instructions on how to embed videos. I don't want you just giving me links to YouTube and all that. I want you to actually embed your video. At the end, when you finish doing it, you should see your video in there. Okay, if you just see a bed code, or if you just see a URL, then you haven't embedded it. Your actual video has to be there. Make sure that you look at those last steps. When in this video here, where I give you instructions how to do it, make sure you look at those last steps, because you have to look for that little YouTube box over on the left. Here it is right here. So you click on this right here, and then click on this, enter embed code, and this is where you paste your embed code right there. Okay, and when you do that and then submit, then you have done it right. Otherwise, I'm not going to listen to it, and you're going to waste time. That's the first thing I want to show you. Of course, I tell you it needs to be a minute long. Spanish 1, it's a minute, and Spanish 2, it's a minute and a half. Make sure you get that length right, because if you don't have the length, then that's major points taken off too, okay? The other thing I wanted to point out is that I've given you a set of questions. Down here, Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, and down here, all these questions. What these questions do is they make sure that you're sticking to the lessons that you've learned in whatever course that you're in. If you go in and you type something in English and then you go into Google Translate, then you're going to have a bunch of Spanish there you haven't learned yet, and that's useless to me and to you, because you're not practice anything that you know. I'm not able to evaluate what you've learned in the course that I've taught you, so it's really pointless. And so I also take off major points for that, almost half your points. So just stick to these questions that I've given you. I've given you one of the midterm and final Spanish 1. There's questions there in the midterm and final 2. In Spanish 2, they're all questions from the book too you can use, and that's going to keep you on track, okay? And I don't want you asking the question, answer. I want you to do it like a little paragraph. I'm going to learn about you there with using Spanish. Make sure, of course, that you're practicing your pronunciation. I told you there's 4 letters that I want you to focus on. Make sure that you're focusing on those 4 letters. Those I really watch for. I watch for the Z, the H, the Enya, and the Aya. And those are 4 sounds that I really want you to get right. And practice those from the very beginning of the course so that you get good grades on this, okay? Okay, well, I look forward to hearing from you.